Hello and welcome to the Great International Craft Show number 9 here in April, May 2021. So in today's class, actually I should say who I am. Hi, I'm Melinda from Scrapbooking I make things. I'm tired. I manufacture chipboard embellishments, stencils, foam stamps and mixed media cardstock cutouts. And in today's class, it's been a long day. In today's class, we're going to use some of my chipboards. So this round circle frame with the little viney things on it as part of my range. These open leaves are part of my range as well. And that's all I use that's mine. Everything else is other people's stuff. So I'm going to show you how to decorate, and if I can get the light to shine, they've got a metallic look. Now I will put some photos at the end, because these metallic waxes are very hard to photograph. These are the little beauties that I use, the Art Alchemy waxes. They are brilliant. And I get all my supplies from Hillbilly Scrapping. She is participating in the Great International Craft Show as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's get on with it and get our layout started. Now, I've got a bunch of things we're going to use all piled up here. Not that notebook, no, back it there. So I've grabbed a bunch of embellishments. So the main product we're going to focus on today is one of my chipboard frames. So this is a vine frame that is our medium size. So we have this in 12 inch, we have it in whatever size this is, the size, and we also have it in the smaller size, so it fits in there as well. So all the sizes are on the website. Might use these, might use some of these roses, the little leaves, we'll see. And I might use a bunch of this other stuff. So chipboard, how do we use it? Basically it comes, when you buy it, it comes raw, or it comes just as a cardboard colour. Now sometimes I've just stuck it on my layout and used it as the craft colour it is. But today we are going to alter it with some black gesso, and then we're going to put some Finnabar, oh, it's shining bright, Finnabar waxes over the top. So I've got Old Denim and Green Brocade from Hillbilly Scrapping. And what I'm also going to do is, I found this flower which is going to layer up great with this one, but pink is not really in my colour scheme. And I've also got some green leaves I don't like the colour of, but I want to use, I think, some of the leaf shapes. We'll wait and see. So we're going to paint a couple of those with black gesso and put waxes on them as well. So this is a way of altering embellishments that you have in your stash. And I have the buttons as well, because I'm not going to use, I might do that button. We might use the light pink, but I don't want to use this dark pink, and I definitely don't want the green. So we're going to put that in the paint pile. That's getting painted. This is getting painted. We are going to use a page from, these little bits are going to stay the same. Let's put those over somewhere. Put a little box off to the side. We'll use that in a minute. We'll use the bee in a minute. So I've got a gorgeous picture of my daughter. I'm going to grab one of these pre-done backgrounds. That light is very bright tonight. I apologise. The shine will go off in a minute when I take this shiny. Maybe I'll turn one of my lights off. Is that better? Oh, I'll turn this one off. No, it's the overhead light. It's been a pain. Well, that's a bit better. Okay, we'll go with this. I'll turn the lights back on if it gets too dark. So this is a Vicky Booten pad. Now, Hillbilly Scrapping sells the waxes that we're using. She sells with black gesso. She's the lady that I do these lovely in-person events with. And we also do virtual retreats and in-person retreats as well in country Victoria. So I thought we'd go with a pre-made background today, just to make it quick and easy. So this is a Vicky Booten mixed media premium, doesn't say what it is. But basically this is just a book. We've got a nice piece of acetate in front, which is really cool. Cut that up and use that. These are just pre-made backgrounds. So I've selected the first one out of the pad. Yes, I could probably make this myself, but I like quick and easy pages. So we're going to tear that out. Hillbilly Scrapping just got something similar in. It may not have been this particular book, but she got one in that was very similar the other day. So I'm just going to stick that in there. So I like that this has already got the gold splatter on it, and it's got this on it, which went really nicely with our paper. And the photo I had, stuck it in here. So this is sort of what our layout's going to look like. And then we're going to get starting to paint. So I'm going to have my frame sort of over my photo, and I'm going to have a bunch of this other stuff under the frame. That's the idea. So let's get making our embellishments first. So I'll put our paper off to the side because I'm prone to get stuff mucky when I paint. Let's grab some of these out. Let's grab a couple of these out. I sort of want the bigger ones. And maybe we'll go a smaller one. I can always use them on a different project. If I paint them and decide I'm not going to use them, I'll go another smaller one. So this will also show you, even though these are, we're painting that, aren't we? And I'm not sure whether I'm going to use this or not. That will stay white if I do use it. Might be a bit big. I'm going to paint the button. So this is also going to show you how you can cut up pieces. So this is like an abstract rose with 2 leaves, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the little leaf bits in a cluster. So even though you buy chipboard as a piece, there is no reason, got a little crown there, we'll put in a bucket for later. There is no reason why you need to use the piece as it is. Say, for example, you like this, just this viney cluster down the bottom, you can actually cut this half circle off and use it as a second piece. So you don't necessarily have to use the pieces as you buy them. It sounds quite simple, but some people assume that they have to use it as they bought it. Okay, a paintbrush would be good. I've got to pause and get a paintbrush. I knew I forgot something. So I grabbed my paintbrush. Just have my apron on as well because I'll probably get mucky stuff all over me. Okay, so for these waxes, these are sort of like a top coat. So what we need to do is undercoat our pieces so the top coat works really well. So this one that says Opal Magic changes colour from being really light green to a really dark, light green on white to a dark green on black. And the old denim looks so much better on black as well. You can certainly do them over white gesso. If you've not heard of gesso before, it's basically a universal primer. It's like an undercoat. When you paint a house, you undercoat a house and then you do the overcoat or the top colour. Same when we are using this in the scrapbook industry. I'm just going to thump that thing into the lid. Oh, it's not going to sit in there. I usually like to work out of the lid, so I've got a little bit of less than dunking it right in the jar. So what I like to do is, instead of painting, usually when I give people a paintbrush, they want to paint in strokes. This is sort of more a dabbing up and down motion to get in between all the little creases. I'm not going to make you sit and watch all the pieces. And what I also like to do is I'm working on a bit of scrap paper. And I'll show you in a minute what I like to do. So I'm just going up and down just to get it all coated. I'm going to get black all over my hands, but I like to get messy. So you don't need much on your brush at all. The reason I like going up and down is it's actually sort of stippling the colour on more than painting. I find when I paint with gesso, I tend to get more on my, every time I do more strokes, I take it off my piece. So I'm just doing, as you can see, I'm not moving the chipboard piece. I'll show you a reason for that in a minute. So I'm just getting all the bits. If I miss a tiny little bit here and there, it's not such a big deal. And I just want to come around and do these bits. So old paintbrushes are quite good for this. They can sort of go circular motions as well, but I do like going up and down. Just getting in between all those crevices. So the up and down motion is good if you have a chipboard piece that has lots of little crevices and nooks and crannies and things. So now I can take my chipboard piece off and check that I've done all my bits. And I've sort of got a coloured piece on my scrap paper. So I can tear this up and use it in my art journal. So I'm sort of getting 2 for 1. So going up and down is especially important when you're doing small shapes like this, and you also don't want to goop up your holes. So you want to keep going over the same spot until you're picking up all the goopy paint if you've got it gooped up in a hole. So there we go. So I just keep moving this around and doing it on my drop paper. So the same thing, I'm going to go paint all those off camera. So same thing with our flower. Whoops. We are just going to go up and down and paint our flower black. So all those flowers and all those things you've got in your stash, and you look at the current colour and go, ew, what was I thinking when I ever bought that? Sounded like a good idea at the time. You can now learn to paint them with gesso and colour them with waxes, and you'll be able to use all those pieces. Back in the day, we all bought pieces of chipboard that had, like, they might have come in a pack and they had like glossy, or they had prints on them, like printed paper on top of them. And you use some of them and then you sort of don't use the rest. You can grab all those out and use them. So again, just stippling up and down, because I find that's a bit better than painting even on these flower petals. So you've got to be a bit careful. This particular flower is like a material, so it takes the paint really nicely. If I was doing this to a paper one, I've just got to be a little bit careful, because the gesso is a wet medium. It does soak into the paper. It's stuck to my finger. So these paper leaves, when I do them, I'm just going to be a little bit more careful, because I don't want the paper to disintegrate. I should be able to still see the embossing. These leaves have got a bit of embossing on them. I should be able to see that embossing when I have put my waxes on. So now I've got a nice black leaf. And yes, I could have gone and die cut another leaf out, but I thought let's use up what we've got. There we go, black leaf. So I'm going to pause the video and paint the rest of, I don't want to stick to my fingers, these pieces, because you don't need to watch me paint everything, because it's a bit boring. So I'm going to paint all of these pieces over here. I'm going to paint my button exactly the same way. I'm going to paint a couple of these leaves. As I said, I may or may not use them. Because these have got the embossing on them, that should still show up when it's dry. And I should be able to highlight that with the waxes. Let me pause the video. So every time I say I'm going to pause the video in the video, it just means, for me, I pause it and either dry things or continue to paint things. But the next clip will just start straight away with you. I just say I'm going to pause and go do this, because if I move all this and then bring in something else, when the video sort of jumps, some people wonder if they've missed stuff or something. So that's why I usually say I'm going to pause the video. So when I say that, don't worry, it's not going to pause for long. It's going to flick through to the next video clip for yourself. Okay, so all my bits are dry now, and I'll just chuck up my underpaper so it's a bit easier for you to see. Now let's play around with our placement, and then we will colour these pieces up. I sort of want to play around with placement so I know sort of which colours I am playing with. So we'll bring our bit of pattern paper back in. I'm just hoping that light in is okay, because if I turn my light on, maybe that light will behave. I'm having issues with lighting lately. There we go, we'll see. So I like the gold splots down the bottom. My daughter is laying on a deck chair on a cruise, obviously a few years ago, because we can't go cruising at the moment. This was when Alexis wasn't 2020. This must have been 2018-ish. Must have been 2018-ish, because we went on a cruise at the start of 2020 and then 2 years before that, so it could have been 2018. Actually, I don't like the shine of that light on the photo. That's a little better. Okay, so we're going to have this sort of like this. Or am I going to have this? Oops. No, I'm going to have this. And then this is all going to look funny because it's black, but we are going to change its colour soon. So let's go back into my bucket and throw up all these bits that I put aside, because I need to work out which bits are going to be what colours, so then I can make them that colour. So I like the idea of, what I like to do is when I'm using these chipboard pieces, and just checking out the time, I like to sort of layer things on top of and underneath my chipboard frame to sort of incorporate it all. So my frame just doesn't look like it's stuck on top. So I'm wanting to turn that around a bit. So I'm sort of wanting to maybe snuggle. Oh, I don't even mind it with the black flower. Ooh, maybe that flower will stay black. The frame is going to be like a bluey, greeny colour, but it's going to be quite subtle. And then, actually this little dusty pink will work. We have got some bit of, I don't know, doily, I think, or something that was white. I went rummaging through my boxes to find some stuff. Just going to trim a bit of this, just trimming a bit of this excess off. This is obviously lace off something. Thought they'd be nice and soft to add in there. Even these half pieces will look really cool in white, and even though it's white on white, it's sort of texture but not a lot of colour. I can always add a bit of colour to these if I need it. So we might add that one sort of up there. Trim this bit down. I've just got a bucket here to catch all my bits. I usually throw them down on the floor, but my daughter's bunnies are running around. You might hear them. Or you might hear me yell at them. And maybe we just tuck that bit just under there somewhere. Okay. Now, and the one thing I forgot was a title. I'll have to go searching for a title in a minute. Let's see if, look at this one. So I'm trying to sort of build an L-shape, backwards L-shaped cluster. Don't know whether I like that. I think it's too heavy. As in, it's hard at the moment looking because it's all black. Trust me, it'll change. It'll get quite subtle. Maybe it needs to be... Oh, I like it better under there. Maybe I like a little one up there. So some of these chipboard shapes come with little connecting lines between them. It's just easier to put 3 or 4 sheep? Well, sometimes it is sheep. 3 or 4 shapes on a sheet and cut them out at once and then pick them up and package them than have lots of little shapes running around. Okay, and I think we're going to scatter some of those. I've got some heart threads which might go somewhere. I'm going to use these leaves. I'm liking that. Where was that button? That button might just go in down here. And that black one is going to be changed colour. So I just want to sort of get a placement of where I'm going to put things before I go and colour them, because then I know what sort of colour. I'm going to stick with B somewhere in a minute. Maybe this crown in somewhere. Okay. So let's just put all this extra stuff. These ones, I often paint extra bits, and I've got a big box of chipboard that I pick from when I need bits. So it's great to paint some extra bits. You can always paint them white again. Okay, now, I think I like that flower black, but we need to do the frame, 2 leaves, button, and the leaf. So I need this bit, this bit, this bit. Often I'll take a photo of what this looks like so I can destroy it like that and still have an idea of where it's going, but that's all right. Now, there is 2 different ways to apply these waxes. This is one way with, where to put my waxes? They're over here. These are stencil brushes. Hillbilly Scrapping does sell these. So these are Mont brushes. I usually don't like to quote prices because if you're watching this on YouTube years later, prices have gone up. Things go up and down, but these are quite affordable. They're around $5-6 a packet. Could even be, this one's marked $4.50, but this one didn't come from Hillbilly Scrapping, and this one's several years old. So I found a new packet. I went looking for my older ones, so I couldn't find them. Can't find anything in my stash lately. Okay, I'm going to do the frame first, and I'm going to do that denim blue. So these Finnabar waxes are like a waxy product. So I'm going to grab my smallest brush, and we just want to pick up a little bit. We don't want a lot. They have a nice smell. They almost smell like shoe polish. And then what we want to do is we want to go round and round and round. The more we go round and round and round, the more we luster up the metallic colour. I might have to turn this other light on. It's going to be hard to see. Like it's there. Oh, you can see it. So I've done this bit and I haven't done this bit, so you can see it. So it's not like a really bright blue when you put it on the black. It's a nice subtle blue. Like here you can see it on the white. It becomes a brighter blue. But when we do it on the black gesso, it becomes more of a jewelly, richy colour. So I'm just going to go round and round and round. When you're applying it with the brushes, you're getting... Oh, I'm making pretty patterns. When you're applying it with the brush, you're getting a lot more of a thin coat. And when I'm dabbing the brush in the pot, I'm not pressing very hard. You don't want to stab it in. You just want to press it a little bit. And then what you can do is you can actually take your finger and do highlights. So the more you go round and 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 round over it, the more that luster comes up, the more the metallic luster comes up. Now these waxes are in 20 or 30 different colours. They keep bringing new colours out. And there are some matte ones. So if you do go and buy them and see the word matte, M-A-T-T, it basically means I don't have the shine on me. But if all the other colours, like this one's just called Old Denim, it will have this metallic shine on it. I hope you can see, you can see the shine. Now, we'll take some photos of this at the end, and you will be able to see it a lot better. It's just hard at the moment. What I can do is take a little bit on my finger, and it's more of an intense colour. So I just want to highlight these leaves. So when you're adding it with your finger, you're putting a much thicker coat on. So it's obviously a brighter colour. I'm just being a little bit careful of some of the vines. If they break off, that's not a hassle. We can just glue them down on our page. When I'm designing laser shapes, it's a toss-up of how thin can I go to how rough people treat the shape. So I'm just trying to make the viney bits, the leafy bits, a bit thicker. I love using my fingers lately. Something about finger painting, connecting with your work. And okay, so there we can see, you can see, I can see the definition, and I have bad eyesight from with colour tone. So you can sort of see this is a lot lighter here, where this is more intense and dark. So I'm loving that. Now we will do these green flowers. What did I have a button to do? I had a button to do. What do I do with the button? I lost my button. Ah, oh really, button? Okay, so the button is going to sit on the pink, so I want to do the green on the button. And again, I'm going to use my finger. Now, what we suggest is when you have these waxes, this is the old packaging, the little tubs. They actually come in tubes now, which is a lot better. If you do get some of the old packaging with these little tins, just have one lid off at once, because look at this one. This one's called Opal Magic Green Brocade, but when you open it, I had it open before. it doesn't look anything like green brocade colour, because opal magic means, hey, I change colour with different surfaces I go on. So if you do have these, don't open more than one jar at once on your desk, because then it'll be really hard to match the colours up again. So I'm just putting some of this on with my finger and going round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And it's going to be, oh, it's gone a bit sort of a coppery colour. And I'm just going to put a bit on here. Maybe I've got a bit of blue in my finger. Ooh, I've got a bit of blue in my finger. So as you can see, when I'm putting it on the white paper, that's right, I can scrape that bit of blue off. It's a really, really light green. Now on this black, it goes more of a deep, not an army green, but a deep green. It's gone almost like a coppery colour. So we've sort of got a deep colour. I'll put it next to that and you'll be able to see it. Now I wanted to do this. So again, when you're sort of almost polishing these waxes on, you are going to use the smallest, tiniest amount, and you don't need to do 100% of the black. So you can do it quite in a shabby way and leave a little bit of the black showing. So you don't need to coat 100% of your shapes. You can have it sort of the distressed look. So you just keep building up layers and building up layers. And the more you go over it and polish it, either with the brush or your finger, I'm just going to grab the brush and polish it up a bit. I tend to put it on with my finger and then grab a brush and go over and over and over and over and over. It's not necessary to have one brush per colour. I'm trying not to, trying not to wiggle the table too much. It's not necessary to have one brush per colour, and I don't necessarily clean these brushes. All I do to clean them is do this. If no active stuff's coming out, there's a bit of blue coming out, but that sort of stained the tip, so I don't wash this, but that's right to go again. So I'll keep this for my blues and sort of greens and maybe all those sort of shades. If I'm going from a really light colour, I will make sure I've got a brush for sort of light colours, or like my red tones, like my coppers and reds. But once this is sort of dried in the tip, that's not going to contaminate if I put that brush into this pot. Does that make sense? Clear as mud. So these little pots, or the little tubes, will last you probably your crafting lifetime, because you are using such little amount of product and you don't need much at all. I'm basically just touching, and look, there's not much on my finger, but when I wipe it on, it's going a long way. And that's like when you're sticking these stencil brushes in, you don't want to like bang it in. You're basically just touching it and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing until there's no product left in your brush. Ooh, this is going to come up nice. Okay, what am I going to do with this one? This one is... So this one I just want to touch really, really lightly. I'll go over with the brush. Which brush did I have in the green? Because I just want to be quite subtle. Using your finger, you can put like big blobs on, but you can then get them off with one of the brushes. This lip doesn't want to behave. And I'm hoping to be able to highlight some of the ridges of the leaf by going very gently over. That bit's going to be hidden. So you're basically just playing with them until you're happy, and I'm going to sort of, let's see if I can edge it. This will make it pop in the background as well. So I'm just sort of putting an edge on, if you can sort of see. It's hard with the light. So I'm just putting, like you'd edge a piece of paper with ink. So just putting a little bit of thing on my finger and just touching the edge of the leaf. So these waxes are fun to play with, and they will last, as I've said, your crafting lifetime. We've been using some in classes, and we're still only down to half a jar, and we've probably done 50 or 60 projects. And Hillbilly Scrapping's done some huge projects with. She's done these on huge canvases as well. So when you're looking for stuff like this, you're wanting stuff that has sort of texture and shape. If you do all flat chipboard, it tends to look a bit flat. What I'm going to do is just go wash my hands and get this waxy stuff off, and then I'm going to bring my layout in. I'm going to put these aside. These are basically dry now, but I'm going to pause the video, go wash my fingers so I don't put fingerprints over my nice white sheet of paper, which is what I usually do. But I'm happy with those colourings. Okay, I've grabbed some supplies, got some double-sided tape, got some glue. Here we go. So what I want to do is I've just got some tissue paper here, and it's still all folded up. What I want to do is just add a few layers to my photo as the photo mat, just to give it a bit of softness. I can find the end of my tape. I've just got my glue sitting upside down. I just thought I'd left the cap open, which would be a disaster because it would all run out. So I've got this folded in, I think, four lots of paper. So I'm just wanting to sort of stick it on, and I'm going to cut the whole 4 lots of paper, and then I'm going to stick them on. I could do this on a paper trimmer, but I've just decided to do it freehand. So this is just wrapping tissue. Whoops. Just want to move my page up out of the way. So that's one layer stuck on. So I want to stick these last couple of layers on. And I don't want to be perfect about it, so it's overlapping a little, or it's like not all perfect 4 layers in one. I'm not fatigued. It'll give it a bit of texture under the photo. I'm just going to take it on and sort of line it up. I think I've picked up 2 layers. No, I've got to do that twice. And I can always go and cut a little bit off, but see how I've got that one's a bit shorter than that one? Well, that's a big dangly bit there. Let's get rid of that. Of course, my scissors have got gunk in them. We'll do that twice more. I could have matted it with a bit of Scrabble paper, like Scrabble cardstock, but I thought, why not use the tissue paper? Just got to pick it up and go flat. I think I've got one more layer that is not stuck in. I could have used glue on this too, but sometimes I prefer double-sided tape when I'm working with paper. Oh, it's sticking everywhere. Okay, last piece, and then I'm going to see if I need to trim. And I'm going to put the last piece deliberately just a little offset. So I like how that is looking. It's going to be quite subtle on the page. Let's place it back on the page. So it's going to be quite subtle, and you'll see it over the blue, but you're not going to see it over the white, which would be cool. Okay, let's bring our frame back in. So where do we have our frame? This way, we had it this way, I believe. No, we had it turned like this, so I could sneak in this flower underneath. I tend to not stick anything until I've moved it around 100 times. And seriously, sometimes it is 100 times. Come on, leafy flower. Yep, I've got the petals back. So these are material flowers, and these I just found in my stash. Hillbilly Scrapping has some beautiful flowers, and I could have got some gorgeous flowers if I was that thing called organised when I was up there 2 weeks ago. But, of course, no, organised and Melinda does not go in the same sentence. So I have to make do with what I've got. But she's got some gorgeous paper flowers. That would have been perfect on this layer. we will make it work. Actually, I had the smaller one under. No, I had the bigger one under there, didn't I? So I had the bigger one coming out from there, and the smaller one coming out from there. And the button was down and tucked in there. I am thinking I'm liking that. I do need a title. Whoops, we've got our leaf. Our leaf went under here. Might be too much black. Actually, maybe our leaf needs to go under. Or under there. Actually, I'm liking that a bit better. I might just move that over a bit. I love how this is already decorated. Now I need a title for this, so I'm just going to pause and go find a title. And I think this might be a quick page. Some things come together really quickly. Some things... Oh, no, I've got things. Do I need things? Do I need a buzzy bee? I don't like his charm. I'm trying to cut his charm off his head and just have a buzzy bee. I need a little crown. She does look like she's a princess crown almost. I believe this was on a carnival ship. Carnival Legend? Legend? Does that sound make sense? Wasn't the spirit, wasn't the other one. It was... Oh, maybe I'll put the crown. Put a crown on her head. No. Maybe just the crown down here. So it has to sit somewhere that it's not. Actually, it might sit there. Yeah. Oh, cheeky. Oh, I can be cheeky. This bee had a big round, round connector on his head, and I didn't like it. Ah, we just cut it off. I think we put the bee in the middle of the flower instead of the brad. Or do we do the bee down here? The bee needs to go somewhere where he's seen. He's either seen in the middle or he's overseen here. I do want the wrong way. I'm going to see if I want to use some of these little flowers. So I don't know where this flower trim come from. I do apologise. I'm trying to be good this year and deep dive my stash and not buy a lot of things. Huh. Every time I go to Hillbilly Scrapping, she has new stuff. And she's got a couple of stamp sets and stuff. I've got my eye at the moment. I'm trying to be good. I think it just needs a bit of softness. And I need a new pair of scissors. See, I need. I don't want. I need. Don't we all say that? Okay, sorry. Back to the class. Not my shopping experience. Okay, do we want... Now, you got to know when to stop. I don't think I need 6 of those. I don't know whether I like those or not. I think I do need to bring a bit more pink into it. Sure, I do like them. And I think I like a bee over here. See how I've got the frame? I've got this over the frame, and then I've got my photo under the frame, and then this is just sitting on the paper. So when I glue this chipboard frame on, it's on a flower here. So I'm going to have to put a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of chipboard here just to make it come up a bit, and put a little bit of foam tape or chipboard under this bit just to raise it up a bit and give it a bit of height, and I think that's going to look good. Now, where am I going to put a title? I reckon I need a title just around here. Now, do I have something that'll work? Let me pause and go find a title, and then I think we are going to stick it down. Sometimes a quick page is a good page. And I could sit here and procrastinate all night, but everything is just thumbs today. Oops. Okay, let's go find a title and I will come back. Okay, so I went looking for a piece of my chipboard to go on here, but alas, I have decided to use a sticker. I sort of want the title to go here, and I was looking at it and then going, what colour am I going to paint it? And I noticed I only had gold down here and I didn't have gold anywhere else. So I thought I could paint a piece of chipboard, and then I just sort of glanced and found this sticker book by Vicky Booten. I'm in love with Vicky Booten stuff at the moment. So I don't even know which one this is or what collection it's from. They don't usually have collections on them. This is one I got from Spotlight a little while ago. But I decided that I'm going to use this Life is Good sticker, and I'm going to cut it and sort of position it around here. So let's stick all this down first. So I'm going to use my favourite glue, which is from Hillbilly Scrapping. It's Hallmark 450. So this is what we use in all our classes. We stick chipboard with it, we stick buttons, we stick bunches of stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is stick this button to this button. I'll open up the cap properly. Let's see. It's more like a gel, so you just got to wait for it to come down the tip of the bottle. Okay, so now I'm going to work out what I'm going to stick first. I'm going to stick... Okay, what I'm going to do is grab this bit of chipboard, because it's got a couple of these bits on it that I can use to stick on the back of here. Okay, so I often use these little cutouty these bits between to go under the chipboard because I want to raise it up. I'm going to remember where this is. Yeah, right, Melinda. Okay, so I want to put a little bit of this. I want a little bit of glue. So this glue is super duper sticky. Okay, so I want now to work my fingers. Let's try that again. The great thing about this glue is if you get it on your fingers, you just roll your fingers together and it comes off really easily. So I'm wanting to put a bit of this under here just to lift it up, and I'm wanting to cut off a little bit more, and I want to put it under this joint up here so the frame just floats up a bit. So I just want to put it under this joint up here. You're not going to see these bits or the big blob of glue I just put on with it, because it's all going to be underneath. Okay, now I found a square piece of tissue that fell on the floor, so let's just throw that on in case, so I don't have to put it away in my stash. Might matter one extra layer. Just give it a bit more fuzziness. I'm just going to check if I don't need to cut any of that off. No, I don't. Okay, try not to get stuff on my photo. Now, I think I'll stick, so that's sort of going there. So that's going, actually I didn't have it like that, but I think I like it better like that. My phone's buzzing at me. I'm going to ignore it. Okay. Now I'm going to stick these flowers together because then I can stick them down. So I've decided to leave this flower black. I was going to put waxes on it, but I've decided to leave it black. You won't notice that it's pink. Now I'll put all these little bits on in a minute because I'm only going to stick the flower in the middle, so then I can scoop underneath and put stuff under. I just want to have a look to see if I like that over. Reconstruct my layers again. There's someone there. There's over there. That was up there. Do I like this up out here or not? Or do I like it like this? This time I think I like it over the top, but there's no reason why I can't have it. If there was something more interesting up here, I would, like it was if Alexis was standing up, but because there's no sort of interest, yes, it's just the C, I'm going to stick it down. Okay, so I'm going to stick it under the frame. So let's stick our photo down and start getting our layout done. I can sit here and procrastinate all night, but you don't want to watch that, do you? Oh, seriously. Okay, where was this going? And this is a nice quick layout because it's helpful that we are going to go something like there. Stick. Okay. Now, I want to... This is sort of going to go in here. What is up with these? Ah, that's because I've got one stuck under here. Ugh. Because I want to stick the frame over the black but have the blue and the white on top of the frame. It should be just an easy task of plugging it in. It's proving to be difficult. I'm all thumbs when I'm filming these videos. It's ridiculous lately. Okay, so I think I'm going to... So I've got a bit under there and I've got a bit under there, and that's going to have that height. Okay, so next thing I might do is I'm going to put glue in here, glue on this edge bit. So when it comes to sticking down the frame, glue is a volcano at the end. So when it comes to gluing down chipboard, you don't have to glue down every single bit. I'm going to glue down these extra little risers I put on, because that's going to give the chipboard a bit of height. And then I'm going to put a fair bit of glue over here where it's going to sit in the flower. So I'm actually going to tuck it in the flower away from my photo, so I don't keep glue over my photo, which I've been prone to do. And I've just got to arrange those flower petals. Over like, I think I have it like that. It's going down like that anyway. So that has given me a bit of height. Let's put the doily in here. Does it have a right and a wrong side? Not really. Again, I'm just going to stick it in the middle because then I can tuck stuff in and I can always add more glue later. So this went in, come in there, and then this come more of an angle like that. This come up here. I think I've stuck it closer to the bottom than I originally had it, but it's all good. It'll work. This come up and under here. Now, if I'd stuck more of that flower down, I wouldn't be able to stick things up and under it. I think this went up here. This is great glue, except when it gets down to about a third of a container. You've sort of got to wait for it to come down the end. So I'll put that in there before I put that there. So I'll glue on both ends of this. And then I want a little on the back. There's the hairband that's around the glue for I don't know what reason. I'm just waiting for this glue to fall down. It's more like a gel, so it does take a few seconds to fall down to the end. Okay, we are getting there. So our button was down here somewhere. Our crown was in here. Oh, we can even put our crown on our B. Now, because the B is a bit sort of hollow in the middle, I'm just going to sort of fill it up with glue and then it will dry. So we're going to stick our B on top of our frame. So with this frame, because it's our main element, I've got my photo sort of under the frame, I've got this over the frame, I've got this over the frame, this is under the frame. So it's all sort of working and combining it in. The frame's just not stuck on top. You sort of want to combine it into your layout when you use these big frames and just not have stuff stuck. We're not using that piece. We're not using that piece at the moment. I'm getting confused. How we're going. I'm going to put a little bit of glue under these petals to stick them down where I want them. Just need a tiny bit of glue because they're just being a little bothersome and sticking up. Okay, now we had one of these in here. These fluffy little flowers. And one of them up here. And I like things in three, so where did we have one? See, I told you I should take the photo. Actually, we probably can stick one in there and then it looks like it's on the vine. Maybe, maybe not. So this little bit of lace I'm going to stick just poking out from the flower. I need to purchase another one of these glues, use half of it, and then you can stick this pot in hot boiling water. It liquefies and it will run to another jar. I do that all the time when I'm filling up glass jars because Hillbilly Scrapping has this in a small bottle. The bigger bottle is more economical, but we find the smaller bottles are easy for people to use in glasses, so I'm forever filling it up. So I do need to go purchase another one, and then I don't have to be so impatient. You're just going to see a tiny little bit of that. It's really cool. Okay, I think this will fit in here. And I think I like where these flowers are, so let's just stick it down and then we'll work out what we're doing with your title over yonder. And I probably need, oh, I forgot that leaf's not stuck down. Whoops. So you wouldn't know that leaf there was this colour. See how much, so much better it looks? So these waxes are fantastic to change the colour of basically anything. I could have put it over the, this plastic bit, this resin bit, and I can put it over the bee. So you can put the waxes on just about any surface. Just most surfaces you do need to gesso first, just so the waxes will stick. Okay, this glue's starting to annoy me. Definitely going on my shopping list for Hillbilly Scrapper next time I go visit. We live about 2.5 hours away from each other, so it's not a simple dash up to her house to replace my supplies. Oh, that's okay. For some reason, every time I go visit her, my suitcase is always heavier coming home. And I usually take a bunch of stuff with me. So I always go shopping up there when I'm up there. I've got a running list of stuff I need and then stuff I want. Okay, I'm just going to put that in there too. Okay, I like that. And I just need a tiny bit of chipboard because this button is not sitting flat. Because I've got it sitting up on something and not on something else. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of chipboard there and it will just make that button go flat. Now, I think I've got just realised I haven't had my microphone on, so hopefully it has been picking up my voice. Otherwise I'll have to go do a voiceover. Oh, I can't win lately. Okay, really liking that. Nothing's going to fall off. And that is not attached anywhere, so I'm going to grab another little slither of chipboard and stick it up here. It's not attached up here. So putting that chipboard up on those little bits of risers as well gives it a bit of depth on the page as well, which looks really cool. We're just going to hold it down for 30 seconds. This glue is really quick drying, which is fantastic. Just because it's a thin part touching the page, I just want to make sure it sticks. Oh, I'm liking it. Very much so. Now, what word was I using? I want to sort of run the wording along here. I'm thinking life is good, or everything else was in a different colour. Life is good is yellow. No, yellow won't work. Beautiful, that's the wrong colour. Hello, wonderful, tell a story. Why is everything never in the same colour? That's why I love chipboard, because you can make it whatever colour you want. And I think we are going to go to gold. Because... Okay. Hello, no. Hey, no. Wonderful. Hey, wonderful? No. Life is good. Let's go with the original. I could go with beautiful, but I don't know how I'm going to... It's straight. No. I'm going to go with life is beautiful. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut. And I love that it's a clear sticker. Whoops, please don't rip my sticker. And... So I want to go live. Is good. No, I don't like that. Oh, please come off. Maybe up here. Thought I wanted to go around, and I don't. I wonder what it look like. Over the photo. You usually don't like stickers on my photos. No. Okay, just pick a spot and put it, Melinda. I think I like it up here more. Oh, it was good. Okay. I like it up. Not convinced, but needs a bit more gold up here then. So let's do one of these arrows. Let's rip this page out to make this arrow off. Because it doesn't have any other... Oops. So I'm trying to put it more on the white. Show like that. Except if I got it straight, that would be a miracle. And I don't think it is good as straight. Let me limit how many times I can peel these stickers off, I think. Oops, we might have met our match. Oh no, they're going to be quite forgiving. I like stickers that let me peel things up. Now I just think it needs a scribbly border around the edge, and then I think we are done. It's hard to see this in the camera. Oh, yeah, you can see it. I think it balances the gold. So let me grab my black pen and then we'll finish this off. And I think we can call it done. So I've just grabbed a Posca paint pen. Let me get my book out of the way. Do we need anything else gold? Or do we need a little sticker down? Remember, all of this, the best place to be is wherever I'm with you. No, I'm not in the we're Fruit Loop in a world full of Cheerios. Oh, maybe I need that just down the bottom. Sweet dreams are made of this. No, little sparkle wherever you go. Live life to the fullest. How about we put that one? Happening right now. No. I think I'm just going to put a little black sticker down here. And there's one about adventures. Say yes to new adventures. Oops. Now we peeled off a few more stickers. I think this will just finish it. And knowing when to stop is unfortunately not my forte. Terrible. Okay, now. Still not convinced about the stickers up the top, but it's done. I think because this is so heavy. Now, I'm going to do a scribbly border around the edge. This is with a Posca paint pen, and I like to do a couple of lines, and it's making a weird noise because this is a slightly textured page. And sometimes just adding a wiggly border. If I just stop at one line, well, that's a bit wiggly. Oh, I think the pen's nearly out. I've been doing a lot of Zentangling and doodling in my little art journals. And it doesn't help that I'm trying to do it over a textured piece of cardstock. Come on, paint pen. Now I don't want you to go too dark. Sometimes when I draw quite quickly with the paint pens, it doesn't like it. Wow. I think that has just finished it off. Let me stand up and have a look. It's interesting looking from an angle. Sorry if you heard a clung. I just lost my microphone. It's supposed to be tagged to my shirt. Okay. I do like it. The title's nice and subtle, but when you lift it up in the light, you can actually see it. So I'll take some still photos of that, pop them to the end. And thank you very much for coming to my class today with the Great International Craft Show. You think I'd be able to say that by the second time we do this internationally? So now you'll be able to go get some of these beautiful Finnabar waxes and change your embellishments, change your buttons, change your chipboard, change your leaves, and obviously change your chipboard as well. Thank you very much for coming along, and I'll be in the classroom again at 4:30 on Saturday and on Sunday, and also live on my Facebook page at 12 p.m. Saturday and 12 p.m. Sunday, and also live at 7 p.m. Saturday night and 7 p.m. Sunday night, just because nights work better for me. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow in the classroom. Bye for now.